spot, same place, same round about the same time, doing what we are doing and what we are going to do. I want to say welcome, guys. We don't have all day, but the little time that we have, we are going to use it wisely. So for those of you who have been here with us, I hope you all have been enjoying the live, and if not enjoying it, at least I hope that you all are learning something. Because as much as I am here, I'll tell you that I am doing this for me. I am absolutely sure that there are countless people out there who are benefiting from. George, what's up? How are you doing, my love? Good to see you. There are countless people out there who are benefiting from what I am doing here. And it's just that I got to do this again. I really don't mind doing it again. But if you all were here with us when we did the entire thing, um, that was really something. But if now that you are here, just hang on. We won't be going we won't be going in order like we did before. So if you have not read the Bible in order, you just catch on. Just catch on where we are at, because right now we are doing the books a book at a time. And I'm sure some of you are going to be a little bit confused. I am confused too sometimes because, to be honest with you, my friends, when I read the Bible, I get confused too. Trust me, because oftentimes the stories seem incomplete. That's one thing. They seem incomplete, and also when the stories make references, sometimes it is with the assumption that you already know that little smidget of information that they give you. It's as if you already know about that story, right, Linton? So if you have not read the whole thing and you have never heard of the story that was mentioned, you are like, huh? What are they talking about? You know, when a story mentions, like yesterday we were reading and the story mentioned about Judah, a lot of people like, that's Judah. If you hadn't read the story of Judah and Tamar, you probably would be like, I don't know that story. I don't know. So you might get a little bit lost along the way. It does happen. And that is why a lot of people say, oh, the Bible is so confusing. You're right. It is confusing. It is as confusing as it is contradictory. And I know a lot of you always say to me, oh, Trev, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't say the Bible is contradictory. What other word would you like me to use? When the stories are inconsistent, they're contradictory. Yeah. It's saying one thing and then it's saying something else in the same breath. And you are left wondering, like, what exactly? Case in point, yesterday, for those of you who were here with us yesterday, and before I go any further, let me make this disclaimer. If you are somebody who if you are one of those people who gets triggered whenever you hear somebody talk about the Bible in a way that does not please you, that does not suit you, if you are somebody who gets triggered because somebody is questioning something in the Bible and you don't want anybody to question the Bible at all, and you don't want to hear anybody saying that the Bible is contradictory or highlighting the contradictions that exist in the Bible. If you are one of those people, please know I am not here to upset anybody and I don't want anybody to be upset. That is not my goal here, but you are not welcomed here if that is you. Okay? So you can kindly take yourself someplace else where somebody else is going to celebrate your delusions. I am not here to celebrate anybody's delusions. Welder, what's up? What's up? Good morning, my love. I am here to I am here to read for myself, and I am sharing that experience with you all. I know a lot of us grew up in church, whatever church it is, we grew up with religion being considered as our bedrock for our lives, and a lot of us, out of fear, the fear that was instilled in us when we were children, we have refused to question what was given to us. We have refused to question the indoctrination. We have refused, well, now, good morning, my love. We have refused to ask questions out of fear that we are going to die on a hill of fire of something. Yes, there's some fire that's going to come out of heaven and destroy you if you ask questions. And so you all have already surrendered. You all are not, you don't intend to ask any questions. You just intend to go along to get along. Well, there are some people out here who are rebellious, who want to know the answers. Excuse me. There are some of us out here who don't mind reading for ourselves rather than going to church and sitting there on a Saturday or Sunday and listen to somebody spew some BS from the pulpit and tell us, and we never know for ourselves. We never read the book for ourselves. We don't even know. We just know, oh yes, every 7 days I gotta go back. Every 7 days I gotta go back to church to go get my refill. Yeah. That's all some people want to know. They don't care about nothing else. And then they get upset whenever they hear somebody questioning or talking about the Bible in a way that does not please them. So, with that being said, let us move right along. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sitting here by this window here with this 30-degree wind that's coming in. And you all know I'm at that stage of life where I'm hot, so I welcome the wind in, but my throat isn't welcoming the wind in. But we are going to move forward. So, yesterday, for those of you who were here, yesterday, just a little bit of a recap. Yesterday, we read Jeremiah. We've been reading Jeremiah for the last couple of days. And the book of Jeremiah is one of the most interesting and fascinating books of the Bible. A lot of people like to quote Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, and God said, I know you from before you were formed in your mother's womb. And that's all they want to talk about, about Jeremiah. They don't want to get down into the nitty-gritty of the book of Jeremiah and the conversation that it says was had between Jeremiah and his God. Because you see, my friends, if you get down into the nitty-gritty of that conversation, you're going to have questions like I have had because I've read the book of Jeremiah. I've had lots of questions. In the book, we noticed where Jeremiah is saying God is talking to him, and God is telling him to encourage, Calvin, good morning, my love, to encourage the children of Israel. Remember, by this time, Israel, Jerusalem was void of its massive numbers of inhabitants. The people had grown weary. The doctrine was no longer appealing to the people. So the people had gone their ways. The people had moved away, gone about their business. So the community was severely lacking in community members. The people were gone. And and Jeremiah, being one of those prophets who longed to see Jerusalem revived, he said God told him to encourage the people to return to Jerusalem, to reestablish the city. And as we read along, we noticed where Jeremiah is also saying God is telling him the plans that he has for the people when they come back. And those plans weren't good. But what he says God told him to tell the people was totally different from what he said God told him was the plan for the people. He said God told him to go tell the people that he wants to be there for them. He wants them to remember how he had taken out their foreparents out of Egypt and how he was their God and they were his people. And then Jeremiah said, and God told him as well that these people are such a stiff-necked people, they have backslidden, and he's so angry at them. He wants them to come back so he can destroy them to teach them a lesson. And I'm like, wait a minute now, wait a minute. This doesn't sound right. This don't sound right. Why would God be two-faced? Why would God tell Jeremiah these things? And it brings to bear ordinary people like me and you reading this thing. We got to stop and ask questions like, is there any truth to this thing here? Is there any truth to it? Like, is this story for real? Did this really happen? Did any God really talk to Jeremiah? And I always have the question as to whether or not God spoke to these people, because I don't see God talking to people like that today. Even though people coming up on stage and going and saying, oh, they spoke to God and them have a relationship with God and them and God have a conversation, and God is always telling them stuff to go tell people and all of that. I don't see it as prevalent as it seems to have been in the Bible. But when you look at the things that Jeremiah said God told him, it makes you question whether this said or whether this God really is a God of love, of grace, a God of peace, because none of those traits were exhibited in the story. When you have Jeremiah saying God said to him, don't even come before me in prayer for these people, because I'm not going to heed your word. I'm not going to heed your hearken to you. I don't want to hear nothing from you don't pray for these people, because what I have already said I'm going to do to them, how I'm going to destroy them, how I'm going to allow for there to be numerous amount of widows among them, or I'm going to make them mourn for their children, or I'm going to allow them to die in the streets by starvation, by what did he say again? He was going to make them die by starvation. He was going to make them die by the sword. He was going to make them die by pestilence. And he was going to make sure there was nobody to bury them. They were going to be eaten by the fowls of the air, and the dogs were going to drag them around the streets, and there would be nobody to bury them. That right there is like hatred of hatred. And in the same breath, he says, but remember to tell them I love them. Remember to tell them it's the same God who loved their fathers. And I'm like, wait a goddamn minute here. This don't even sound right. Guys, well, I remember while we are doing this, we are also trying to experience the North Carolina sunrise. Wait, let me just show you all, and then we come back. Take a look at the sun coming up there. We see the sunrise, the horizon is starting to change color. Yeah. So that makes me ask a lot of questions, like, since God knows everything and he knows everybody, according to Jeremiah, say, I know you from before you were formed in your mother's womb. I know what you were going to be. I know everything about you. So since God already knows everything about everybody and knows what their end is going to be and what their experiences are going to be. What is the point then of me going there and praying to him? What would be the point of Jeremiah even praying for those people? God already know what's going to happen. So what Jeremiah was going to do? Have him change his mind? Is that what is expected of prayer? You expect to change God's mind even though God has already determined what's going to happen to you, what your course of life is going to be, even until the day of your death. That is already predetermined. But you can pray and ask Him to change it. Then that means God is pliable. And everything he can shuffle around. He's shuffling a deck. He can shuffle around and change his mind just by an ordinary man asking him to. And you don't see nothing, you don't have any questions where that is concerned. You don't have any questions where that is concerned. I understand. So here in the book of Jeremiah, um, Jeremiah was saying all these things that God was telling him to do. He went on to say that God told him that he should not have any wife or children. Now, now I don't know if God told Jeremiah anything that Jeremiah said, but when you look at it from a rational point of view, if you are talking to somebody and this person who has the power and the authority can do all these things that he's telling you that he's going to do, and he says to you, listen, I want you to call about the people to come to New York. All of the people who run gone from New York. I want you to call them and tell them to come back, come build up their houses again and stuff and their businesses round about New York. But let me tell you what the plan is that I have for them. Just when them come back to New York, me I go make the Hudson River flow over. Me I go make the Verizon Bridge tumble down. Me I go make, listen, there's going to be death and destruction everywhere. Listen, the women, I'm going to make widows out of them left and right. Listen, you see, the people with children, I'm going to make the children die left and right. Would you want to have children and wife and children in New York if the person confide in you and tell you all of that? That's what's going to happen. Oh, okay. Okay. So Jeremiah was wise in his thinking that if God is telling him that he's going to do all of these wicked things to Jerusalem, to the people when they come back, me wouldn't want to have any wife and children either, because I wouldn't want to have to face that pain. He said he wanted them to come back. He wanted them to come serve him like their foreparents did. But at the same time, he also said he wanted their enemies to come up and to take them into captivity so that they can go serve the gods that they were serving when they were gone. And yesterday I told you that brought a question in me as to what would have been God's point, because clearly he was upset that the children of Israel had left Jerusalem, gone all over the place, and by so doing, they were now mixing and mingling with the people who had not received this doctrine that Moses had given them. They were mixing and mingling with all these forsaken people. And he was concerned that they were also practicing the religion of those people. So they were offering incense and stuff to Baal. And he was so mad at that he confided in Jeremiah, said he wanted them to come back to Jerusalem and to come serve him. And yet at the same time, he's confiding in Jeremiah and saying, watch me and them. I'm going to make the enemy come up and slay them by the sword. And those who don't get slain, they're going to take them into captivity, and when they are in that captivity, they will be able to serve Baal all they want, because whoever is going to I'm going to make take them into captivity, that's the religion of those people. So what would have been the point to bring the people back then if you were not going to re-establish Jerusalem and have the people to return to their animal sacrificing and all of this, all of these, and all of these religious practices that they were used to. If the point is just to bring them back so you can destroy them in that place, that doesn't sound too godly to me. Not to me. Yeah, hold on, let me show you the sun coming up. Cause you know, so that's why we sit on right here every morning. We experience the sunrise. I don't know by now, so this is the only spot in my house so I can experience the sunrise. And I don't have anything to say because I know me build the house, okay? Okay. Yeah, so this morning we are going to continue with the reading of the book of Jeremiah. For those of you who have never read the book of Jeremiah, I suggest that you go read it for yourself. Don't just read one verse. Take your time and read it chapter after chapter. And don't read it when you are tired, because you want to get the gist of what is being said. You want to follow the storyline. So take your time and read it. Okay? This morning we are going to start at chapter 18, where we left off yesterday. All right? So, without further ado, today is Sunday. I don't have the entire day, so we are going to read as much as we can today. All right, let us read from Jeremiah chapter 18. It says, "The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Arise and go down to the potter's house." If you all were here last time, you all remember I told you all, you know, what's his name? TD Jakes, his house of worship, he calls it the potter's house. I was telling you all that that potter's house comes straight out of the Bible. It's just that sometimes I don't remember exactly where. So now we know it's out of Jeremiah 18, the potter's house. Okay? The word which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there I will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he wrought a work on the wheels. And the vessel that he made of clay was marred in the hand of the potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potter to make it. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter? All right, so the potter is making some pottery. So he says, God is saying to the Israelites, if he can't mold them as this potter is molding the pottery, he says, cannot I do with you as this potter, said the Lord? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in my hand, O house of Israel. At what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to pluck up and to pull down and to destroy, if that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil ways, I will repent of the evil. that I thought to do unto them. All right. So if the people them turn from them wicked ways, he will think about not doing the evil for them. But first, they gotta give him something for him to enact his love and his grace. That has always been questionable for me. Like, why, as human beings, why do we have to give God something for God to be kind to us? And if we don't give him something, we face the wrath of his fury. He destroys us all because we don't give him this praise that we got to get up every day and praise him. We got to get up every day and pray to him and ask him for what we want. Why? Because when you got to ask every day for what you want, that negates the belief that he already knows what he's going to make you have and what he's not going to make you have. That is already predetermined. So you praying, Nixon, good morning. So you praying is not gonna shouldn't change his mind, right? So then what would be the point of you praying? There should be no point then, right? Because if your destiny is already predetermined, he already knows what's gonna happen to you. What's praying gonna change? So if I gotta pray for him to do what I want him to do for me, then I have to accept that my destiny is not predetermined by him, because the two can't work together. It's one or the other. Can't be the same. But let us continue. Oh, the sunrise is beautiful. But let us continue. And at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom to build and to plant it. If it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then I will repent of the good wherewith I said I would benefit them. Now therefore go to, speak to the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I frame evil against you, and devise a device against you. Return he now, every one from his evil ways, and make your ways and your doings good. And they said, There is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, ask ye now among the heathen, who hath heard such things? The Virgin of Israel hath done a very horrible thing. Will a man leave the snow of Lebanon, which cometh from the rock of the field? Or shall the cold flowing waters that come from another place be forsaken? Because my people hath forgotten me. They have burnt incense to vanity, and they have caused them to stumble in their ways from the ancient paths, to walk in paths in a way not cast up, to make their land desolate, and a perpetual hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished and wag his head. That's how shocked people are going to be at what God is planning to do to his people. I will scatter them. I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity. Then said they, Come, and let us devise devices against Jeremiah, for the law shall not perish from the priest, nor counsel from the wise, nor the word from the prophet. Come, and let us smite him with the tongue, and let us not give heed to any of his words. Give heed to me, O Lord, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. Shall evil be recompensed for good? For they have dug a pit for my soul. Remember that I stood before thee to speak good for them and to turn away thy wrath from them. All right. Jeremiah is sort of foreseeing here what's going to happen. Because you see, Jeremiah wasn't a well-off person. Jeremiah wasn't somebody who was like highly respected. Jeremiah could be classified as some little mendicant around the place. Jeremiah wasn't, you know, anybody anybody respectable at all. But now Jeremiah was claiming that he was getting this message from God to go give the people. So he had his own fears, like, but God, the people them not gonna listen to me. The people them are gonna say, who I listen to Jeremiah, what Jeremiah say? We don't want to hear nothing at all from him. So here Jeremiah is pleading with God for mercy, you know, to if he can change the people's heart, to not be too harsh with him when he goes to deliver this message that God is giving him to go deliver to the people. He's telling God, oh, you know, remember that I had come to you and asked you to turn away your wrath from them. That was one of the things that I had questions like, God, good morning. God said Eden has been mentioned again. It mentioned enough time. It mentioned enough time, sis. What's up? Happy Sunday morning to you. What you doing? Good to see you, my darling. Yeah. So my question has been, why would Jeremiah, an ordinary man, have the power to change God's mind? Why would Jeremiah have the power to convince God that whatever he's doing or about to do, he should change it? An ordinary man shouldn't have that kind of power over a God. I'm just saying, you know. And if you all remember when we read yesterday, remember God same one tell Jeremiah, according to Jeremiah, him say, God tell him, say, do not come before him in prayer for these people, because he's going to deliberately not listen. He's going to deliberately not hear. And he's going to deliberately not preserve these people like Jeremiah was begging him. He's going to deliberately destroy these people because he had his mind made up about what he was planning on doing to these people. So that is going to take us into an endless case of circumlocution, going around and around and around, because we'll never get to the answer as to why a God would exhibit such cruelty. But we're going to continue. Verse 21, it says, therefore, deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let their young men be slain by the sword in battle. Let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. For they have dug a pit to take me, and hidden snares for my feet. Yet, Lord, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me. Forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sin from thy sight, but let them be overthrown before thee. Deal thus with them in the time of your anger. Now, this was the same Jeremiah. And the same Jeremiah, this, telling God, say, you see like how the people them now go listen to me, and the people them I got a plan for my soul, I got a plan for demise. Listen, Just go and go do whatever you want to do to them. You know, let their young men die in the streets. Let them die by the sword. Let their children die. Let their wives be widows. Just go through like a whirlwind and just destroy them. And God would be willing to destroy the people to save just one man, Jeremiah. Just to save one man, Jeremiah. He would be willing to destroy everybody else. But let us continue. Thus said the Lord. And I told you what, I want you to pay attention when I say thus said the Lord. Una listen to the words that Jeremiah says are coming out of the Lord's mouth. Thus saith the Lord, go and get a potter's earthen bottle, and take of the ancients of the people, and of the ancients of the priests, and go forth unto the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is by the entry of the east gate, and proclaim there the words that I shall tell thee, and say, hear ye the word of the Lord, O kings of Judah, and inhabitants of Jerusalem. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will bring evil upon this place, which whosoever hears, his ears shall tingle. Because they have forsaken me, and have estranged this place, and have burnt incense in it unto other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. They have built also the high places of Baal, to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Now that is the second time that we hear, that is the second time that we hear God saying that these people were sacrificing their children, and that he had never asked anybody to sacrifice a child, and it had never even come into his heart to ask anybody to sacrifice a child. But we know that during that time, the people, there was the tradition where they would sacrifice children. And my thought on that was that if this is God speaking, then he's not being consistent, because either he's not being consistent, or these people are lying, because Abraham did say God told him to go sacrifice Isaac. Now God is saying the thought of child sacrifice has never crossed his mind. So who lying, God or Abraham? Me no know which one of them, but or Jeremiah. Jeremiah said God tell him that it has never crossed his mind, and this is the second time that Jeremiah says so. So let us continue. Therefore, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. And I will make, hold on, let me erase. I've written up in this Bible so much. All right. Verse 7 says, and I will make void the counsel of Judah and Jerusalem in this place, and I will cause them to fall by the sword before their enemies, and by the hands of them that seek their lives, and their carcasses will I give to be meat for the fowls of the heaven and for the beasts of the earth. Now remember, in yesterday's reading, he said that, and in today's reading he's saying it again. He's going to let them fall by the sword of the enemy, and allow their carcasses to be meat for the fowls of the air and the beasts of the earth. And I will make this city desolate and hissing. Every one that passeth thereby shall be astonished, and hiss because of all the plagues thereof. Now, wanna tell me, in all honesty and in all fairness, my dear listeners, if you hear somebody preaching like that, like Jeremiah was preaching out there at the gate of Tophet, if you hear somebody preaching like this, and this person says, God send him, God has told him all this dooming and damnation of the city, that everybody is going to die, and if the people don't come back, they are all going to die, and he's going to call all of this damnation, of this death and destruction on the people. Would you want to come back? Talk to me in all honesty and fairness. Would you have confidence in coming back to this city? Because I believe that if you come back to this city after having heard all of this, then that means you are back under duress. You are being threatened and coerced into coming back. And you don't know that this same God is telling Jeremiah that when you come back, he's going to make the whole city desolate. He's going to destroy the city. He's going to make the wives not have no husband. He's going to make the people not have no children. They're going to make their children die, and all of this. That's going to happen. Would you want to come back? I know I wouldn't want to come back. But it is what the Bible says. I know me make it up. Let us continue. And I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters. And they shall eat every one the flesh of his friend in the siege and straitness, wherewith their enemies and they that seek their lives shall straiten them. Then shalt thou break the bottle in the sight of the men that go with you, and shall say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, even so will I break this people and this city, as one breaks a potter's vessel, that cannot be made whole again, and they shall bury them in Tophet, till there be no place to bury. If you don't see this as a whole confusing literature, I don't know what is. 1 minute they are being given grace, and the next minute it is utter destruction. Then will I do unto this place, saith the Lord, and to the inhabitants thereof, and even make this city as Tophet, and the houses of Jerusalem and the houses of the kings of Judah shall be defiled as the place of Tophet, because of all the houses upon whose roofs there have burnt incense unto all the host of heaven, and have poured out drink offerings unto other gods. Then came Jeremiah from Tophet, whither the Lord had sent him to prophesy, and he stood in the court of the Lord's house, and said to all the people, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, Behold, I will bring upon this city and upon all her towns all the evil that I have pronounced against it, because they have hardened their hearts, they have hardened their necks, that they might not hear my words. And my question is, hold on, let me write something here. So, Jeremiah to Tophet and Jonah to Nineveh. Okay. All right. So here we are. We are done reading now with the chapter 19. All right. Let me turn this back around here, so me can see you know. Joseph. Oops. There we go. Happy Sunday to you, my love. Yeah, me know someone did want to see me. See me here. How you doing, my darling? Good to see you. I am here. Yeah. Reading out of this good book here. Here we move right along into chapter 20. And in chapter 20, he says, Now Pashur, the son of Immer, the priest, who was also chief governor in the house of the Lord, heard that Jeremiah prophesied these things. Then Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet. Yeah, Jeremiah lick him. Not Jeremiah, Pashur lick Jeremiah. Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet and put him in the stocks that were in the high gate of Benjamin, which was by the house of the Lord. And it came to pass on the morrow, that's the next day, that Pashur brought forth Jeremiah out of the stocks. Then Jeremiah said unto him, The Lord hath not called thy name Pashur, but Magamisabib. He says, The Lord have not called thy name Pashur. That means so the Lord have called you. That the Lord not call you by that name. He's calling you Magamisabib. And thus said the Lord, Behold, I will make thee a terror to thyself and to all thy friends, and they shall fall by the sword of their enemies, and thine eyes shall behold it, and I will give all of Judah into the hand of the king of Babylon. Jordan, what's up? Good morning, my love. Let us read right there. So, again. So, so, um, Pashur, this guy named Pashur, he's the son of the priest that is there in Jerusalem. And after Pashur here, after he heard Jeremiah with all of this prophecy, he hit Jeremiah. He said he smote Jeremiah and he put Jeremiah in this prison. And then on the next day, when he went to the prison, Jeremiah started telling him, say, the Lord did not call you by that name Pashur, the Lord called you by the name Magamisabib. For the Lord said, Behold, I will make thee, that's him telling Pashur, the Lord said he will make Pashur a terror to himself, and he will, and to all his friends, and they shall fall by the sword of their enemies, and thine eyes shall behold it. And I will give all Judah into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall carry them captive into Babylon, and shall slay them with the sword. It seems to me like Jeremiah is trying to wiggle his way out of this jail that Pashur has put him in. He is trying to stroke Pashur's ear. Listen. God say all of your friend them, you're gonna be a detriment to yourself and to your friends. Listen to me. God no call your name Pashur. Him call you this long name here, so with a whole heap of letters in there. Maga Misabib. Jeremiah is talking to Pashur as though God is telling him, Jeremiah, what to say to Pashur. Another scare tactic. Another scare tactic. But let us continue. He continues to say that God also says all these people are going to be brought down into Babylon and they're going to be slain by the sword. Moreover, this is Jeremiah, moreover, I will deliver all the strength of this city and all the laborers thereof, and all the precious things thereof, and all the treasures of the kings of Judah will I give unto the hand of their enemies, which shall spoil them and take them and carry them to Babylon. And you, Pashur, and all that dwell in your house shall go into captivity. And you shall come to Babylon, and there you shall die, and shall be buried there, you and all your friends to whom you have prophesied lies. All right, so here Jeremiah is is accusing Pashur of prophesying lies, and for that he's telling him that God is telling him all these things he's going to do to Pashur and his family and his friends and everybody else in Jerusalem. O Lord, thou hast deceived me. Let me read that again. Jeremiah 20, verse 7. O Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Thou art stronger than I, and hast prevailed. I am I am in derision daily. Everyone mocks me. For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of the Lord was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily. Then I said, I will not make mention of him, nor speak any more in his name. But his word was in my heart, as a burning fire shut up in my bones, and I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay. Let's continue. For I heard the defaming of many, fear on every side. Report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watched for all my familiars watched for my halting, saying, Peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him. But the Lord is with me as a mighty terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten. But, O Lord of hosts, that triest the righteous, and seest the reins and the heart, let me see thy vengeance on them, for unto thee have I opened my cause. All right, so me no know why Jeremiah believes. So, Michibu, what's up? Good morning, Sugar Bun. Me no know why Jeremiah say God has deceived him. He says in verse 7, he says, O Lord, thou hast deceived me, and I was deceived. Is it that Jeremiah believed that God would protect him from people like Pashur, but God didn't protect him because now Pashur has smut him, and Pashur has also put him in this prison? That could be the only thing that's the only thing I can think of. If you all have something else in mind, you can share it with me, but that's all I can think of right now. Why he's saying God has deceived him. But let us continue. But the Lord is with me. Hold on, we are on to verse 10. For I heard the defaming of many, fear on one side. Report, say they, and we will report it. All my familiars watched for my halting, saying, Peradventure he will be enticed, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall take our revenge on him. But the Lord is with me as a mighty terrible one. Therefore my persecutors shall stumble, and they shall not prevail. They shall be greatly ashamed, for they shall not prosper. Their everlasting confusion shall never be forgotten. But, O Lord of hosts, that triest the righteous, and seest the reins and the heart, let me see thy vengeance on them, for unto thee have I opened my cause. Sing unto the Lord, praise ye the Lord, for he hath delivered the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers. Cursed be the day wherein I was born. All right, you want to hear that again? Do we not read the book of Job a week ago? Wasn't it the same language that Job used? You remember? Yeah, it was the same kind of language that Job used. He says, "Cursed be the day that I was born. Let not the day wherein my mother bare me be blessed. Cursed be the man who brought tidings to my father, saying, a man child is born unto thee, making him very glad. And let that man, why the man gotta be cursed? All the man was doing was bringing a little gift for the newborn. Why he gotta be cursed? He says, and let that man be as the cities which the Lord overthrew, and repent in the morning, and the shouting at noontide, because he slew not from the womb. He is mad that he wasn't aborted. Just like Job, you remember? Y'all remember when we read the book of Job a couple days ago? About a week ago? Job was also mad that that he wasn't aborted, that he didn't die in the womb. And here now is Jeremiah with the same kind of language. He says, because he slew me not from the womb, or that my mother might have been my grave, and her womb to be always great with me. Wherefore came I forth out of the womb to see labor and sorrow, that my days should be consumed with shame. Jeremiah is in great grief. Jeremiah is angry. All right. But we're going to continue. Welcome into the live, everybody. Thank you all for coming. Yeah. If you're wondering where in the world are you at on the internet this morning, you have landed on the page of Trev from Trevessence. And on a morning like this, I do the Bible reading, not from any religious conviction, because I do not endorse religion or denominations, but I read the Bible for myself and I'm sharing it with you. Okay? That's it. If you are triggered by my analysis of what I'm reading, just, you don't have to announce your departure. Just take your time. Okay? No book your tour. Let us continue. We are on to chapter 21 of the book of Jeremiah, if you're wondering where we're reading from this morning. Chapter 21. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur, the son of Melchiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah the priest. Hold on, because you know we gotta keep track here. Hold on. Didn't chapter 20 said Pashur was the son of Emer the priest? Let's read this again. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent him Pashur, the son of Melchiah. Hold on. Jeremiah 20 and verse 1 says, now Pashur, the son of Emer the priest, who was also chief governor in the house of the Lord, heard that Jeremiah prophesied these things. Then Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet. So it did say Pashur was the son of Emer, right? In 21 it says, the word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur, the son of Melchiah. Is this a different Pashur? Me no know. But we'll continue reading. Maybe we might find out. He says, let us start again. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur the son of Melchiah, and Zephaniah the son of Maaseiah the priest, saying, Enquire, I pray thee, of the Lord for us, for Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon makes war against us. If so be that the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous works, that he may go up from us. Then Jeremiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to Zedekiah. He says, this is what you're going to say to Zedekiah. Thus said the Lord God of Israel, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith he fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of this city. And I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm, even in anger and in fury and in great wrath. And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast. They shall die of a great pestilence. So, Nebuchadnezzar is planning on coming up to destroy Jerusalem. But Jeremiah is telling the people that this is God's plan. Hold on there. Hold on there. Let us read this again. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when King Zedekiah sent unto him Pashur, the son of Melchiah, and Zephaniah, the son of Maaseiah the priest, saying, Enquire, I pray thee, of the Lord for us. Okay, they're asking Jeremiah to ask the Lord what's going to happen, because they have heard that Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, is making a war against them. If so be that the Lord will deal with us according to all his wondrous work, that he may go up from us. Then said Jeremiah unto them, Go and tell Zedekiah this, that the Lord has said, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war that are in your hands, wherewith he fight against the king of Babylon, and against the Chaldeans, which besiege you without the walls, and I will assemble them into the midst of this city. And I myself will fight against you with an outstretched hand and with a strong arm, even in anger and in fury and in great wrath. And I will smite the inhabitants of this city, both man and beast. They shall die of a great pestilence. And afterwards, saith the Lord, I will deliver Zedekiah king of Judah and his servants and the people, and such as are left in this city, from the pestilence and from the sword and from the famine, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of those that seek their life. And he shall smite them with the edge of the sword. He shall not spare them, neither have pity, nor have mercy. So Jeremiah is asking, oh look, they're sending to Jeremiah to ask him what is God going to say about Nebuchadnezzar coming up to them. And Jeremiah sent back to tell them that God says he's going to allow Nebuchadnezzar to destroy the whole city. So where is the protection? Where is the protection? I don't think Pashur did lick Jeremiah good. Pashur didn't lick him good. Him did need two more. This is why I'm saying God tell him. Remember, the people are asking Jeremiah because Jeremiah has proclaimed himself to be a prophet. He has claimed that he is talking to God. And if this is what God is telling him, would you believe it? Or would you even accept it? No wonder the people were so angry with him. Because nobody believed Jeremiah. Jeremiah talk with a two-sided mouth. God is going to protect them. The Lord is going to protect them. The Lord is going to do this, that. And then the Lord is going to destroy them. He's going to allow the sword, those of them that are left, from the ones who have been slaughtered by the sword. Now Nebuchadnezzar is going to take them. Those of them who are left who survived the famine, he's going to take them. Those of them who have survived from the pestilence, he's going to take them as well. And unto this people thou shalt say, thus saith the Lord, behold, I set before you the way of life and the way of death. He that abides in this city shall die by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. But he that goes out and falls to the Chaldeans that beseech you, he shall live, and his life shall be unto him for a prey. Jeremiah think him slick. Jeremiah think him slick. Jeremiah tell the people, if you stay here, I want to listen carefully to what Jeremiah tell the people, Jeremiah tell the people, say, God say, if they stay in that city, they are going to die by the sword, because the Chaldeans and the Babylonians who are coming up after them, if God says if they stay in that city, they are going to be destroyed. But if they run away, Mitchell, what's up, lovely? If they run away, if they leave the city, they shall live. Now, I want you all to keep that in mind. Keep it in mind. What Jeremiah said, God told him to tell the people, as it pertains to them staying or leaving the city. Because this is going to become very important later on in the story. Okay? Let us continue. Jeremiah says, God says, those who have survived the famine, and the pestilence and the sword should leave the city if they want to live. Okay, let us continue. For I have set my face against this city for evil, and not for good, saith the Lord. It shall be given into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And touching the house of the king of Judah, say, hear ye the word of the Lord, O house of David. Thus saith the Lord, execute judgment in the morning, and deliver him that is spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor, lest my fury go out like fire, and burn that none can quench it, because of the evil of your doings. All right. Jeremiah is telling the people, God says all these things, right? Let us continue. Behold, I am against thee, O inhabitants of the valley, and rock of the plain, saith the Lord, which say, who shall come down against us? Or who shall enter into our habitations? But I will punish you according to the fruit of your doings, saith the Lord. And I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. End of chapter 21. Chapter 22. Just so you all can follow this story, let's move right into chapter 22. I ain't gonna say much. Chapter 22. Thus saith the Lord, go down to the house of the king of Judah and speak there. Tell them this. Say to them, hear the word of the Lord, O king of Judah, that sits upon the throne of David. You and your servants and the people that enter into these gates. Thus saith the Lord, execute he judgment and righteousness, and deliver the spoiled out of the hand of the oppressor. And do no wrong, do no violence to the stranger, the fatherless, nor the widow, neither shed innocent blood in this place. For if ye do this thing indeed, then shall there enter in by the gates of this house kings sitting upon the throne of David, riding in chariots and on horses, he and his servants and his people. So the people them first down enough to defend themselves. Why? What is Jeremiah's objective in telling the people this? Y'all wanna know? Me not gonna tell you no. Stick around. Stick around. Emma G, what's up, my love? Stick around and I will tell y'all. You gotta keep listening. Verse 5, he said, but if he will not hear these words, I swear by myself, said the Lord. I swear by my own name. So this is the Lord speaking, he's swearing by his own name. Good morning, my love. How you doing? Good to see you. But if he will not hear these words, I swear by myself, said the Lord, that this house shall become a desolation. For thus said the Lord unto the king's house of Judah, thou art Gilead unto me. Thou art Gilead unto me, and the head of Lebanon. Yet surely I will make thee a wilderness, and the cities which are not inhabited. And I will prepare destroyers against thee, every one with his weapons, and they shall cut down thy choice cedars and cast them all into the fire. And many nations shall pass by this city, and they shall say every man to his neighbor, wherefore hath the Lord done thus unto this city? Then they shall answer, because they have forsaken the covenant of the Lord their God, and worshipped other gods and served them. My God, this Lord is never going to let go off of that. He's never going to let go. To me, it seems so unforgiving. He's never letting go of the people serving other gods. But remember that Jeremiah said he was going to bring the people back, and he said he was going to allow the enemy to come up and take them to a place where they will be able to serve the other gods all day long. That would be Babylon. That would be Babylon. Because in Babylon, they don't serve this Jewish God. They serve this Baal God. And this Jewish God is so mad at the people for having forsaken him and gone to go serve Baal that his revenge is to have Jeremiah encourage them to come back, and then when they come back, his revenge on them is for Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, to come up and destroy them Jeremiah is the same one preaching these words, you know. Don't forget, Jeremiah is the same one that's preaching to the people to tell them God say they should come back and rebuild Jerusalem. Jeremiah is the same one that is preaching to the people and saying, Nebuchadnezzar, God tell him that Nebuchadnezzar is going to come up and destroy the people. And Jeremiah is the same one who claimed to be consulting with God to take care of the people. Because remember, Pashur them sent to ask Jeremiah, talk to God for we. We hear say Nebuchadnezzar. We have heard that Nebuchadnezzar is planning against us. Talk to God for we and see what him say. See if he can have mercy on us. See if he can step in for us. See if he can intervene. So Nebuchadnezzar not come. And what Jeremiah said, God said. Jeremiah said, God say, if they remain in the city, they're going to die by the sword, by the famine, by whatever. Those who survive the famine and the sword are going to die by the invaders. The invaders are going to kill them. If they want to leave, they got to leave the city. Why would God not want to protect Jerusalem, considering how angry he was in the previous chapters that Jerusalem was being abandoned because the people were gone far away? You see, that makes sense. Because if you are upset that the people are gone far away and thereby they are not serving you, you want them to come back and inhabit this place that you gave to their forefathers. Then when they come back, shouldn't it be protection that they're guaranteed? Just asking. It should be protection, right? It shouldn't be revenge. It shouldn't be utter destruction. It shouldn't be that God is now going to use Nebuchadnezzar as the enemy formed against the people who he encouraged Jeremiah to tell to come back to rebuild this city that he loves so much, the city that their parents had lived in and he had given to them and they had served him in and all of this. This story not right? So Jeremiah say, God tell him, say, those who want to live have to leave voluntarily if they want to live. If not, they are going to be slain by the sword of the oppressors. They're going to be destroyed. All right. Let us continue. Jeremiah says, weep not. Hold on there. Yeah, that's where I am. Weep ye not for the dead, neither bemoan him, but weep sore for him that goes away. For he shall return no more, nor see his native country. I know you're thinking just as much as I am thinking. What's the point? I still don't get the point of calling the people back only to punish them with destruction. He says, weep not for the dead. So the people who are going to die those of them will be slaughtered. Don't weep for them. Don't bemourn them, but weep sore for him that goes away. For he shall return no more. He shall no longer come back to Jerusalem. Once they leave, they will never come back to Jerusalem. Why would it be important that the people who are the descendants of Jacob, who were the inhabitants of Jerusalem, why is it that Jeremiah is so comfortable saying, God say, and them enough to weep for, because when they leave, they shall never return to their native country anymore? No wonder? All right, let us continue. Let us continue. We can't even spin the Bible pages. For thus said the Lord, touching Shalom. For thus said the Lord, touching Shalom, the son of Hosea, king of Judah, which reigned instead of Josiah his father. Okay. For thus said the Lord, touching Shalom, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, which reigned instead of Josiah his father, which went forth out of his place, he shall not return there anymore. Hold on, the people. Okay. Let us continue. For thus said the Lord, touching Shalom, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, which reigned instead of Josiah his father, which went forth out of his place, he shall not return there any more, but he shall die in the place where they have led him captive. So this is the king, you know. The king shall die in the place where they have led him captive, and shall see this land no more. Woe unto him that build his house by righteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and gives him not for his work. That saith, I will build me a wide house and large chambers, and cuts him out windows, and it is sealed with cedar and painted with vermilion. Shall thou reign because thou closest thyself in cedar? Did not thy father eat and drink, and do judgment and justice, and then it was well with thee? He judged the cause of the poor and needy, then it was well with him. Was not this to know me, saith the Lord? But thine eyes and thine heart are not, but for thy covetousness, and to shed innocent blood, and for oppression, and for violence. Therefore, thus saith the Lord concerning Jehoiakim. All right, I want to remember the name there. Jehoiakim. This is Jeremiah 22, verse 18. Therefore, thus said the Lord concerning Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. They shall not lament for him, saying, Oh, my brother, sister. They shall not lament for him, saying, Oh, Lord, his glory. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem. Just like I remember bury one donkey, tie rope on him and haul him, go dash him where? Yeah. That's what Jeremiah is predicting here, is encouraging, let's say. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass, drawn and cast forth beyond the gates of Jerusalem. Go up to Lebanon and cry, and lift up your voice in Bashan, and cry from the passages, and for all thy lovers are destroyed. I spake unto thee in thy prosperity, but thou saidst, I will not hear. This hath been thy manner from thy youth, that thou obeyest not my voice. The wind shall eat up all your pastors, and your lovers shall go into captivity. Surely then shalt thou be ashamed and confounded for all your wickedness. Morning, Tuba. What's up? What are you doing, my love? Good to see you. Welcome. As always, I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. O inhabitant of Lebanon, that marks thy nest in the cedars, how gracious shalt thou be when pangs come upon thee, the pain as a woman in labor. As I live, saith the Lord, though Coniah, the son of Joachim, king of Judah, were the signet upon my right hand, yet would I pluck thee there, and I will give thee into the hand of them that seek thy life, and into the hand of them whose face you fearest. So the Lord is threatening, say, swearing on his life, he will deliver Coniah into the hand of the enemy. It's the first time I'm seeing Coniah's name, so I am not sure what the relationship is, what the hatred is, what it is that is causing this fury towards Coniah. But I'm sure as we read along, the name might come up some more. So it will give us some more clarity. But it says, as I live, saith the Lord, though Coniah the son of Joachim, king of Judah, were the signet upon my right hand, yet would I pluck thee thence, and I will give thee into the hand of them that seek thy life, and into the hand of them whose face thou fearest, even into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and into the hand of the Chaldeans. And I will cast thee out, you and your mother that bare you, into another country, where you were not born, and there you shall die. But to the land whereunto they desire to return, thither shall they not return. And why may I read this now in the times of what is going on in this here America here, where people are being cast out, sent to a country where they know not, a country where they were not born, and it might be that they shall not return ever to this country. Why is that? Why is that coming up now? Anyway, we're gonna continue reading. Is this man Coniah a despised broken idol? Is he a vessel wherein is no pleasure? Wherefore are they cast out, he and his seed, and are cast into a land where they know not? O earth, 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 hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord, write ye this man childless, a man that shall not prosper in his days. For no man of his seed shall prosper, sitting upon the throne of David and ruling any more in Judah. All right, so where cut they? Cut is it that right here? So is this where the lineage was broken? The lineage of power was broken? Because it said here, Coniah, they don't want him to be sitting on the throne of David. Oh yeah, God. This was where the ruling of Israel was broken. Yeah, it just came back to my mind. This is where the ruling of Israel was broken, because remember, the ruling of Israel was being passed down from father to son, from father to son. And then after the children of Israel were brought into Babylon, it got broken right there. Then when they tried to reestablish Israel, it was when they tried to reestablish Israel, it was no longer, the rulers were no longer from the lineage of the rulers who were there prior to them having been brought into Babylon. All right, me head not too bad, you know. Not at all. Let us continue. Chapter 23. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors. Hold on then. I didn't read this already. I thought I'd marked it. But let us read it. Didn't he just talk about Coniah just now? Oh, yeah. Let us move right along into chapter 23. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastors, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. And these pastors are pastors. Yeah. Woe be unto the pastor that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pastor, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. He hath scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord. And I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them, and will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. Hold on there. So the Lord gonna gather them from everywhere, bring them back to Jerusalem. So what is the point? Why this merry-go-round? Why this going round so coming round so? That don't make no sense. They were just scattered away. And you tell Jeremiah to bring them back to Jerusalem so you can destroy them. And then you say you want Nebuchadnezzar to come up and destroy them and take them away. Me have my book and my pencil to take them away. And then you're going to gather them from all over the world. From everywhere where they have gone. For what again? Why? Why? Obviously God can't make up his mind. But make us continue. He says, and I will gather the remnant of my flock out of the countries whither I have driven them. Where him see him one drive them gone, him a go gather them come back. Where I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. But you just allowed the oppressor's army to slay a multitude of them by the sword. You just say you want make the famine destroy them. You just say you make pestilence destroy them. I will set up shepherds over them, which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more, nor be dismayed, neither shall they be lacking, saith the Lord. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch. Oh, so I'm just going to kill off the people and then raise up one righteous branch. And a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called. He shall be called the Lord our righteous. The Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country, and from all countries whither I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. So, you were the one who drove them away from this land you had given them after having brought them up out of Egypt. You were the one who drove them away to the north country. And then you're going to bring them back. Like, to me, it's as though. Me right for choke. Excuse me. It's as though this Lord can't make up his mind. Him wishy-washy, him going here, him going there, him going all over the place, him confused, his arguments are not straight. Now you say you are the one who drove the people out of Israel, gone to the north country. But Jeremiah said you were angry that the people had forsaken you and gone abroad. So you wanted Jeremiah to go inveigle them to come back because you have something set up for them. You go and destroy them. You go and make Jankra eat them. You go and make them be widows and childless and all of these things that you're going to do to them to make them understand how angry you were and your fury was burning. So these are the things you're going to do to them. And then, on top of that, you say you're going to make the enemy, the oppressor, you're going to make Nebuchadnezzar come up and you're going to make Nebuchadnezzar take them and destroy them. Who not get killed is going to be taken into captivity. So if they don't want to die, they better leave voluntarily. Go find some place else to live. Now you say you were the one responsible for having driven them out of Jerusalem into the north country and all over. What was the objective for that? It's not making any sense. But I'm reading it. He says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord. Remember, it says, saith the Lord, saith the Lord, that I will raise up David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that they shall no more say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries where I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. My heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome, because of the Lord, and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers, for because of swearing the land mourns. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both prophet and priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, said the Lord. Wherefore, their way shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness. They shall be driven on and fall therein, for I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, said the Lord. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err. Now listen. Excuse me. So here, hold on, let me sip like water here. So let me take a sip here, my friends. All right, let us continue. Verse 16 says, thus said the Lord of, no, not there, verse 13. And I have seen folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err. Now, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If the God of Israel is so mighty and so powerful, how is it that these false gods and these false prophets of a different conviction were able to infiltrate the children of Israel so much so that they were able to convince them to come and start worshiping as they are worshiping? Why didn't the Israeli God intervene and say, you know what? I am in control over here, so your thoughts and your minds are supposed to be with me, and I control your thoughts and your minds, so you will not err. You will not go over there. You will not listen to what they are saying, and you will not obey. How comes the God of Israel didn't have all that power then? Me just ask. Me know some gonna say, oh, it's free will. The people them have free will. But God have the power for everything else, right? But the people have free will. So if the people have free will, then there would be no need to listen to anything God said. Just do whatever you want because you have free will. Because if he's not able to intervene, that means he's not able to influence what you do outside of your human capacity. He's not able to influence you. He's not able to influence your actions at all. You are in control. You do what you want to do. Because if he could, then he would not allow you to do the things that upset him, to make him have to talk about this wrath and this fury. So you see, as mankind, we are being blamed for this fury. Every time he gets mad, we get the blame. We are the ones who cause him to be this mad. So he have no control over his emotions. He knows the things that mankind is going to do to make him upset. And since he controls everything, why wouldn't it be that he ensures that mankind does not do those things that's going to make him angry? Because God not supposed to be this angry and losing control. He coming like a man in control then. Because he's getting so angry and so furious over things that I believe he should be in control of. Oh, now, if you agree with me, no, come I'm not there for no agreement. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. If I'm supposed to look at this logically, based on what is given to me. So let us continue. He says, thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words verse 14, he says, I have seen also in the prophets of Jerusalem a horrible thing. They commit adultery. They walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom, and the inhabitants thereof as Gomorrah. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, behold, I will feed them with wormwood. I know the first time we hear God said this, I'm going to feed the people them with wormwood and make them drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land. Hold on there. And for the love of me, we will not close the window. Talk about somebody who can talk about somebody who can subject themselves. Oh my God. The sun is coming up, but the breeze is cold. I understand me aware. Okay. As soon as the breeze hit me, it cools me down, and then I go back to being hot again. But let us continue. Thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the profaneness. No, thus said the Lord of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of the Lord. They say still unto them that despise me, the Lord hath said, he shall have peace. And they say unto everyone that walks after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come upon you. For who hath stood in the counsel of the Lord, and hath perceived and heard his word? Who hath marked his word and heard it? Behold, a whirlwind of the Lord is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed and till he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days he shall consider it perfectly. I have not sent thee prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. Wanna hear that? Hold on, let me sit down, let me put up my foot just so you come my foot tired. Let's read that again. The anger of the Lord shall not return until he have executed, and till he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days he shall consider it perfectly. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. My God. Sorry, people. I have not sent these prophets, yet. Listen, me I could have a live. Because for some reason, my throat not cooperating. I have not sent these prophets, yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. So honestly, we like, what's up, my love? So honestly, according to Jeremiah, he said, God, I tell him again that the people are lying. The people keep saying that he sent them, that they are prophets. And hear me say again, say, not no go so. This is not the first time Jeremiah has said this, that God tell him so. So here in my view, in my estimation, Jeremiah is claiming that he is the only true prophet now, He's claiming that all them other people, they were liars. Remember him said, God God specified Moses, he picked out Moses and Samuel specifically. You remember? And say they had come to him about these people and him not listen. Him because him not want to hear about these people. You don't want anybody come talk to him for these people. Jeremiah continues to say, these people who come to God, they were not real prophets. He keeps saying God tell him so. All right, now you got to read between the lines. We can't just take what Jeremiah says and say, oh, well, yes, it is true. I can't do that because I have to listen to his words and watch his actions. God says, I have not sent these prophets, Yet they ran. I have not spoken to them, yet they prophesied. But if they had stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil ways and from the evil of their doings. My question is, even though there were prophets in Jerusalem and the people had still gone astray, why didn't God intervene? How come now he's telling Jeremiah that those prophets were liars? They ran and said that he told them stuff when he never told them anything. He never had a conversation with them. But he have the power, right? He can perform the checks and balances, right? So why didn't he intervene? Why him wait to make the people them go about them business and then uh, God I go complain to an ordinary man, Jeremiah, and say, you see them prophet there? They were liars. They come here talking about me stuff. Why he didn't smite them? I see him smite people for less than that. Why he didn't smite them to say, no, call me name, not tell a lie for me. You know what I about before I lose charge. Michi boo song. Oh, the birds sound so nice. Those are the babies, you know. They just hatch. Hold on. Let me put this to charge. Yeah. That is my question on all this power. Why did he allow these prophets to profane his name for so long and tell the people all this lie? And then he says to Jeremiah, I lie them people that did that, them nothing so. Anything what them say, anything that they have said is not true because I didn't say it. That not sound too godly to me. But I'm going to continue reading. He says, am I a God at hand? Am I a God at hand, said the Lord, and not a God afar off? Oh, really? Really? Am I a God right nearby you, close to you, right here? Or am I not a God that is far away? Can any hide himself in secret places? Ah! Let him cook. Thank you, God. You know, every time I hear that sound, they frighten me. I don't know why I'm jumpy so. Look. I don't know why I'm so jumpy. But forgive me, people. Forgive me. But yeah. Let us continue. Let us continue. All right. God say, am I a God close by? Am I a God at hand? Or am I not a God afar off? Can any hide himself in secret places that I shall not see him? Said the Lord. Do not I fill heaven and earth? Said the Lord. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name. God says, so you know about me. God said the prophet and my prophesy lies in his name. He says, I have heard what the prophets said, that prophesy lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed this and I have dreamed that. God said, prophet never tell lie upon him. He say he hear them saying then dream this and then dream that. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own heart. But the thing, but the thing is, God have this power and this ability to ensure that these people not profane his name. Why am I allow these prophets to keep prophesying and telling lies of their own heart, what they think, what they believe. Jeremiah said, God said, man, these people have no conversation. And if you wonder where I'm reading this from, it's from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 26. Which think, he said, verse 27, he said, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. The prophet that hath a dream, let him tell a dream, and he that hath my word, let him speak my word faithfully. What is the chaff to the wheat, said the Lord? So the thing is, the people them did not come with them dream, Bertel. The people them did not come with them dream, and them say, a God tell them these things what them seen at them dream. You all remember I spoke about that before. And I say, the things that you see in your dream, they're not real. Okay? I can't dream that I'm the president and get up today and say, yes, in my dream, I dreamt that I was the president, or I dreamt that I was a doctor or something, and get up the next day and say, oh, well, yes, I am a doctor because last night I dreamt that I was a doctor. Dreams are not real. And we find that in the Bible, a lot of the experiences that people write about, it's all in a dream. It all came to them in a dream. And here, according to Jeremiah, God is saying them dreams are not real. People dream something and then them get up and write it down and claim, say, I me tell them so. It was just a dream. He says, what is the shaft to the wheat, said the Lord? Is not my work like as a fire, said the Lord, and like a hammer that breaks the rock into pieces? Therefore, behold, I am against the prophets. I am against the prophets, saith the Lord, that steal my words, every one from his neighbor. Behold, I am against the prophets, he repeated it now, said the Lord, that use their tongues and say, he said. He's against the prophets who jump up and down and say, the Lord said, the Lord said, the Lord said, the Lord said. We're not no go so. He says, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams. Oh, the birds sound so great outside. He says, behold, I am against them that prophesy false dreams, said the Lord, and do tell them, and cause my people to err by their lies and by their lightness. Yet I sent them not, nor commanded them. Therefore, they shall not profit this people at all, says the Lord. And when this people, or the prophet, or a priest shall ask you, saying, what is the burden of the Lord? Thou shalt then say unto them, what burden? I will even forsake you, said the Lord. And as for the prophet, and the priests, and the people that shall say, the burden of the Lord, I will even punish that man and his house. Thus shall he say, every one to his neighbor, and every one to his brother, what hath the Lord answered? And what hath the Lord spoken? Yeah, when them want to know something, they need to find out, what did the Lord say about this? So who them are going to ask what the Lord said about the things that they want to know? When he says he don't have nothing to do with the prophets, because the prophets tell lie. How are they going to come to him? Is he going to tell them what is it that they are asking? He's going to provide the answers for them? What do you all think? Talk to me. Because I'm going to read chapter 34 again. He says, as for the prophet and the priest and the people that shall say, the burden of the Lord, I will even punish that man and his house. Thus shall he say every one to his neighbor and every one to his brother, what hath the Lord answered? And what hath the Lord spoken? And the burden of the Lord shall he mention no more, for every man's word shall be his burden. For he hath perverted the words of the living God, and the Lord of hosts, our God. And what the Lord spoken? But ye say, the burden of the Lord, ye say this word, the burden of the Lord, and I will send unto you, saying, therefore, behold, I, even I, will utterly forget you, and I will forsake you, and the city that I gave you and your fathers, and cast you out of my presence. And I will bring an everlasting reproach upon you, and a perpetual shame which shall not be forgotten. God gets so cross. This Lord gets so cross and so angry at the drop of a hat. And him curse them no normal. It is for a whole generation, it is for a whole land, it is for a whole everything. Like, seriously? Why I still like me for drink tea? Yeah, when me done. When me done reading, me gonna make myself a nice big pot of tea that I shall sip throughout the day. Ah boy. Me don't know what to say about nothing, none of this. Me say, me see my friend forward up in the chat. With this window open and it's pollen time, my word. Everything is against me this morning. Legend, what's up? How you doing, love bug? What's up? Good to see you. Let us move along. We'll read verse 24. I could hear what the Lord said in verse 24. Let me see how much chapter Jeremiah have. Jeremiah must know about 50 chapter. 51. 51. Yeah, so we have a good little ways to go. I'm listening. You need to hear the word. All right. Let me read the word for you. Let me read the word. Chapter 24. The Lord showed me. Now, this is Jeremiah speaking. Jeremiah said, the Lord showed me, and behold, 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord, after that Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had carried away captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, and the princes of Judah, with the carpenters and the smiths from Jerusalem, and had brought them to Babylon. All right, Jeremiah said, the Lord showed him, and behold, he showed him these 2 baskets of figs were set before the temple of the Lord, after Nebuchadnezzar had taken captive Jeconiah, the son of Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, the princes of Judah, with the carpenters, the locksmiths. He had taken all the people who were professionals out of Jerusalem and taken them into Babylon, because he needed them in Babylon. He needed their expertise. So he had taken them. 1 basket had very good figs, even like the figs that are first ripe. And the other basket had very naughty figs, which could not be eaten. They were bad. Then said the Lord unto me, what do you see, Jeremiah? And I said, I see figs, The good figs, very good, and the evil figs, very evil, that cannot be eaten. They are so evil. Again, the word of the Lord came to me and said, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. How is it for their good? Don't talk to me. How is it? How is it that God would say, hold on there. How is it that in one breath, God would be saying, he wants these people to be in Jerusalem. He's mad that they are gone because this is the land that he had given to their foreparents. This is the land he had prepared for them. This is the land that he wants them to inhabit. And then he says here, in verse 5, he says, Thus said the Lord, the God of Israel, like these good figs, so will I acknowledge them that are carried away captive of Judah, whom I have sent out of this place into the land of the Chaldeans for their good. Why is it for their own good to go into captivity? Considering that their foreparents had escaped the captivity of Egypt. Why God would orchestrate them going into captivity again into Babylon. Let us continue. He says, for their good. For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land. What is he going to do to the land to prepare it for them to come back? Why displace them in the first place? I'm not getting the rationale behind that. Because remember, the people had run away already, They had sort of forsaken the religion. Many of them had gone away. I remember Jeremiah said he told them to tell the people to come back. So now I don't understand what's the plan. Why is he saying he is the one orchestrating this capture of the people to take them away from Babylon, and he will bring them back again? What is this? Taking them out of Jerusalem, bringing them back, taking them out, bringing them back. Does that make sense? Maybe not to me, maybe to you, or maybe you know something I don't know. But let us continue. He says, For I will set mine eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. But you are constantly plucking them up. Why you keep doing that? Somebody says, none of this make any sense. I agree. But that doesn't mean that the biblical text, that doesn't mean that there isn't inspiration in the biblical text, even though right here makes no sense. It kind of could be right. Yeah. That's why I said there are some parts of the Bible that can give you inspiration and strength, and then there are other parts that leave you so confounded. You're like, what in the world? Just like right here. And as we have been listening to the story, what Jeremiah has been saying and what he's been saying, God has told him, and God continues to tell him, you see that it is not consistent. His veracity is in question. Because this breaking down of Jerusalem and promising them you're going to build it back up, then you're going to allow the enemy. It's like God is working for the enemy, because Jerusalem has these educated people. It has all these educated people, and God is going to say he's going to deliberately cause Nebuchadnezzar to come up and to take these people captive, a land where they know not, a land where they shall die, because they shall not return to this land. That's what God say no. He's going to take them and make them die. That's going to be their punishment. Like to take them, make them die in a land that they know not. A land that's not theirs. A land where they have never been. This him say as all of the educated people. First, those are the good figs he's allowing them to take. And then he says here, he will bring them again to this land. He's going to bring them again to this land. It's going to be harder for him to bring them back. Why I say so? I'm not going to say, oh, it's God, he can't do anything. Of course, we see him doing a whole lot here. But what I am saying is why it's going to be harder. The generation that is going to Babylon, that he's allowing to be taken into Babylon, is not the generation that's going to come back. Hear me out. The people he's allowing to go into Babylon because he wants to punish them somehow, and he's saying he's going to bring them back, these are not going to be the same people. If he takes, I don't want to give it away, but we're going to say 70 years, because I'm not going to say something else and have your minds go. It's going to take 70 years. If you all have read the story already, you will know. So I'm going to tell you, it's going to take 70 years for him to bring them back. Do you think it's going to be the same people with the same mentality? No, the people who are going to come back after 70 years, those people would have been born in Babylon. They would have been indoctrinated in Babylon. They would have been serving Baal because that's what they were born into. Now, how are you going to deconstruct them from that to bring them back into Jerusalem? What sense does that make? Wouldn't it be better to allow these people that you have taken, you have told Jeremiah to call back from the north and wherever to come back to rebuild Jerusalem? Wouldn't it be better to just let those people stay there and reclaim their doctrine and continue to live there? What's the point of allowing Nebuchadnezzar to come take them? But they were scared. They would not ask questions. They just do as they were asked. Exactly. Because the people were indoctrinated in such a fashion that if you ask any questions, you're asking for death. You're not allowed to ask any questions. You just do as you are told. And the ones who dared to ask questions, they knew that they had to vacate the place. If they had to ask any questions, they had to leave. Because they know what was coming. So they're asking no question. Hello, friend. How are you doing? Good to see you. Happy Sunday. So the people were just going along. And Jeremiah, you see Jeremiah here going back and forth, flip-flopping. We don't hear why yet, but as we read along, for those of you who are new to the book of Jeremiah, as we read along, we are going to realize why Jeremiah is as flippy-floppy as he is. And he is saying that the other prophets were no good and they were liars, and he's having this ideas of grandeur where he is saying he is the right one. They got to believe him. Okay? God tell him that all the other prophets are liars, and whatever the other prophets said were not true. But they must listen to him, what he says. He says here, verse 6, "For I will set my eyes upon them for good, and I will bring them again to this land, and I will build them and not pull them down, and I will plant them and not pluck them up. And I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God, for they shall return unto me with their whole hearts." That cannot be true, that they're going to return with their whole hearts. They are going to return tainted. Because, look into it now. Look into it. Imagine, not imagine, but those of us here who have migrated, those of us who have come abroad, we have lived abroad, we have had children abroad. Do you think that my American children are immersed in my Jamaican culture? as they would have been had they been born in Jamaica? No, they are immersed in the American culture. For them to get the same kind of immersion into the Jamaican culture, they would have had to we would have had to go live there and make that be their only existence. My children who were born in Jamaica, they can relate to the Jamaican culture because they have had a first-hand experience of it. The American ones, not so. Not so. My Jamaican children know about callaloo and fried dumpling. Yes. They know about calling a banana, a apple, a snack. Yeah, the American children, yeah, them want Burger King and McDonald's and stuff like that. It's a difference in culture. Now, when God allows the children of Israel to be taken away into Babylon, and he's going to call them again to come back to re-inhabit Jerusalem, they are not going to be the same people. Their mentality, the culture in which they were raised, that's what they're going to bring with them. So now his work is going to be harder. It's going to be harder for him to convince them about what their foreparents had gone through with them having come out of Egypt and him being their God and they being his people. It's going to be a more tedious task for him to convert them to the ways of Judaism than it would have been had he allowed them to stay. You don't necessarily have to be in another region just to soak up the culture. You can actually read it from a book. Well, excuse me. Reading the culture from a book, it is nowhere close to having the experience. Because you can be here in America and read about the Jamaican culture. That's going to do not much for you. You can maybe write it if you are studying, say, Caribbean cultures, and you have to write a paper on it. You might be able to do that if you've read and you have watched videos and movies and all of that. But for you to have the Jamaican experience, it's a completely different thing. You cannot find that in a book. You cannot experience it from a book. So with these people that God is allowing, of course, Georgette, for you to get the best experience, you have to live it. You have to live it. It's like if you have to speak a different language. A lot of people can go on the internet and stuff, and pretty soon they can speak a different language. But it's always better if you have somebody who speaks that language who you can communicate with, to help to correct your errors and stuff like that. If you live in a culture where that language is spoken, it's always better. So I mean, I understand how the Lord don't realize this, that it's going to be more difficult for him to be able to gather to regather the descendants of Jacob to come back to live in Jerusalem. What's the point of allowing Nebuchadnezzar to take them in the first place? Makes zero sense to me. But let me continue reading. Excuse me. Then he says, and I will pluck them. He says, and I will give them a heart to know me, that I am the Lord, and they shall be my people, and I will be their God. For they shall return unto me with their whole heart. And as the evil figs, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely, thus said the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah the king of Judah, and his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land. I want to listen to this now. I want to listen. And as the evil figs, which cannot be eaten, they are so evil. Surely, thus saith the Lord, so will I give Zedekiah, the king of Judah, and his princes, and the residue of Jerusalem that remain in this land, and them that dwell in the land of Egypt. I will deliver them to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth for their hurt, to be a reproach and a proverb, a taunt and a curse in all places where I shall drive them. Why? And they are being uprooted, so it's not by choice. Exactly. How could it be with their whole heart? Exactly. Jeremiah didn't think about these things before he wrote them, you know. I don't think he thought them through because he knows that the people are so familiar with not asking questions. He believed that's how people were going to be throughout generations, that they were never going to be asking questions. They were always going to be living in fear. But he had another guest coming because now that we are asking questions and we are no longer just living in fear, we are deconstructing. We are realizing that what the things don't make sense. Yeah. He says he's going to make them be like a proverb. So people are going to use them as an example. He's going to use them as a taunt, a curse in all places where I shall drive them. So he might drive them out of Jerusalem, he might drive them go to Egypt. Nebuchadnezzar come up and take them. Them are go this. They're going to be like a taunt and like a curse to everybody else. Why? Why? He says, and I will send the sword, the famine, and the pestilence among them till they be consumed from off the land that I gave unto them and to their fathers. This don't not sound like one wicked God. This don't not sound evil. This does sound cruel. You are going to deliberately drive them off of this land that you said you gave to their foreparents. And then underhandedly, you're going to say later on, you're going to pull them back together to come back and inhabit this land. But for right now, you say you're going to destroy them. You're going to slay all of them by the sword. So who are you going to bring back? If you're going to ensure that they all be slain by the sword and the pestilence and the famine, that means say you'll kill out the whole tribe. So who exactly do you plan to bring back to inhabit Israel? That's my question. Make sense? You go and drive them out. I know me say it in the Bible. You're going to drive them out of Jerusalem. And you're going to ensure that they all get slain by the sword, the pestilence, and the famine. But you plan to bring them back. You plan to bring them back into this land. Interesting, isn't it? The math ain't mathing, right, God? The math ain't mathing. Because if you're going to slay them, there'll be nobody to bring back unless you're going to bring back a brand new tribe. You're going to bring back a brand new set of people. A set of people who don't know anything about the children of Israel being brought out of Egypt. Is that why he said here? Is that why he said that in days to come, they are no longer going to say, our foreparents who brought us, who was brought of the land of Egypt. I think is that why he said that, God? That could be right. He said here in 23 and verse 7, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that they shall no longer say, the Lord liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But they will say, the Lord liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries whither I have driven them. So I guess that is the plan right there. So it's going to be, this is my analysis of it. He's going to bring forth a brand new set of people into Jerusalem. He is no longer going to be dealing with the people who were direct descendants of Jacob. Because apparently these people have forsaken him. These people have gone their ways according to him. They have erred. The people of Syria were able to convince them to worship Baal, and so they have burnt incense to Baal and all these things. So his punishment for them is to drive them out of Israel to Egypt. Make Nebuchadnezzar come up, come take them, and he's going to slay them by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. Now kill them all off. And then he's going to bring back a new people into Jerusalem. These people are going to know nothing about the story of him having brought the children of Israel out of Egypt. Instead, he says here in chapter 23 and verse 8, he says here, but they will say, the Lord liveth, the Lord which brought us up, which led the seed of the house of Israel out of north country and from the countries which I had driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Could this be what happened in the current Israel? I'm just asking. Could this be what happened in the current Israel? Could it be that the original inhabitants had been driven away, had been slain and slaughtered, and then a new set of people were being led to go inhabit this land which they knew nothing about? Could it be? Wanna talk to me, people? I'm sorry, guys. I just gotta clear my throat. I'm sorry. Could it be? Let me put on my little lip gloss. Put my two little African lips, them. Could it be that that's what it was? That's what it is. I don't know. But whatever it is, if I should go by the Bible, it was orchestrated. It was orchestrated by this God to have the people to leave. The bird them a sing louder than me. A true man. The bird them just a sing and just a fly up all about the place. Them a go on with themselves, man. I'm a little company them, you know. I'm a little company them. Eh? Chop. I'll talk to you in a little bit. Yeah. So let us continue. We are going to read one more chapter for the day. one more chapter we're going to read for today. We're going to read chapter 23. Whew. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, my God. When I in awesome wonder consider all the world. Let us continue. We are moving along to chapter 25. The word that came to Jeremiah, the word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah. That was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Josiah the king of the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but you have not listened. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants the prophets, rising early and sending them. But you have not hearkened, you have not inclined your ear. They said, Turn ye again now, every one from his evil way, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you and to your fathers forever and ever. And go not after other gods, to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no harm. God never change a person's mind. He always allow them to do what they want to do, and then he destroy them. Ain't that something? Because me not hear him changing anybody's mind here. All him doing here, go and go do what I do, and watch how my anger is going to burn like fire in our skin. Yet he have not hearkened unto me, said the Lord, that he might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands to your own hurt. So he's allowing you to do what you want to do. When you do what you want to do, he's going to destroy you, but he's going to blame you for the destruction that shall befall you. I get it. Therefore, thus said the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words, behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, said the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant. Hold on. Hold the thought right there. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them and make them an astonishment and a hissing and perpetual desolation. I thought the people of Israel were supposed to be God's people. Talop, what's up? How are you doing, my love? Good morning. Good to see you. He did say he will give them a new heart in the chapter before. Don't know why. So he will give the children of Israel a new heart. when he brings them back from bondage, he seems to have a propensity towards um, deliberately sending people into slavery and then claiming victory by having rescued them from slavery. Why would he just not send them into slavery in the first place? What is it with this slavery thing? Why he has this affinity towards slavery where he must send them into slavery so that when they come out of slavery, there can be this um they can celebrate him some more. Wouldn't they be able to celebrate him at the same degree had they not been put through the rigors of slavery? But just ask, you know? Because they were in slavery in Egypt, and as we have read the Bible, we see where he kept going over and over as, I am your God who brought you out of Egypt. I am your God who brought you out of slavery in Egypt. I am your God, and you are my people. Da 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 da. He kept harping on that. Now he says he's going to ensure that that Nebuchadnezzar, he says, Nebuchadnezzar, his servant, he's going to allow Nebuchadnezzar, his servant, to come and take them down into Babylon, into slavery. And when he shall bring them forth again out of slavery, they are not going to say they were brought out of Egypt anymore. Instead, they are going to say something else. Why he said them are going to say, let me read it again. He said them are going to say, the Lord liveth, which led his seed and his house out of Israel, out of the north country and from all countries where he had driven them, and they will dwell in their own land. Like, what's this obsession with slavery? Is like slavery the worst thing that he could do to them? So when he claimed to take them out, they will praise him some more. He will get more adoration from them because slavery is so bad. I don't get it. But let us continue. He says here, from the 13th year of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, that is the 23rd year, the word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened. And the Lord hath sent unto you all his servants, the prophets, rising early and sending them. But ye have not hearkened, nor inclined your ear to hear. They said, turn ye again now every one from his evil ways, and from the evil of your doings, and dwell in the land that the Lord hath given unto you, and to your fathers forever and ever. And go now after other gods to serve them, and to worship them, and provoke me not to anger with the works of your hands, and I will do you no hurt. Yet ye have not hearkened unto me, said the Lord, that ye might provoke me to anger with the works of your hands, to your own hurt. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words. Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and perpetual desolations. Moreover, I will take from them the voice of mirth, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, And these nations shall serve the king of Babylon for 70 years. And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, said the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolations. I'm reading chapter 25. So let me get this right. Wanna work with me now. Now listen now. Let me get this right. So here is Jerusalem. Okay? Here is Israel. All these people are descendants of Jacob living in Israel. Over the years, the people are starting to move away from the doctrine that have been taught to them by their foreparents coming down from Moses. They are starting to move away. A lot of them have moved from Israel and gone to other countries. And by them having gone to other countries, they are now worshiping other gods. They are immersing themselves in other cultures that includes their religion. They're worshiping Baal. So God is mad because Israel is its inhabitants have dwindled significantly, and some of the people who are there are also engaging in burning incense to this Baal god. So he's furious. So he says to Jeremiah, listen, I want you to tell these people, go out and preach and tell these people who have abandoned Israel to come back to Israel. I got a plan for them. When they come back, I'm going to fix them business. They come back, God carries out his plan. Himself, I make jankro eat them, I make dog eat them, make them dead, make them be children be fatherless, parents be without children, children dying. All of this destruction he's causing on them. And then he went as further as to tell Jeremiah he's going to also allow Nebuchadnezzar, who he calls his servant, he's going to allow Nebuchadnezzar, his servant, to come in. And like this dream that Jeremiah had about the good figs and the bad figs, the good figs are the people who are educated. These are the ones who will work well for Nebuchadnezzar, because Nebuchadnezzar need these educated people down there in Babylon. So Nebuchadnezzar is going to take these people. The bad people, the bad figs are the ones that they don't want or whatever. They can go down there in slavery. They can run to Egypt. They can go wherever. And he says, wherever they go, he is going to allow them to die by the sword, by famine, or by pestilence. Clearly, if you ask me, God wants to get rid of the children of Israel, the whole tribe, the whole generation, because he's so angry that they have sinned against him. He is so angry, not seem to be able to quench his anger. So these are the things he's going to do to them. And he's going to allow them to stay in Babylon for 70 years while Israel lay desolate. He's going to have the people be in Babylon and wherever else for 70 years. And then he's going to bring them back to Israel to come rehabilitate Israel. That doesn't sound too right. So what was he cleansing Israel of then? He just wanted to just go on a killing spree and just slaughter people them. That is my conclusion. Because what's the point? Now you're gonna make them living in Babylon, stay in Babylon for 70 years, and then you're gonna bring them back, and then you're gonna cause Babylon to be desolate. What's the point? You have all the power. Just let the people of Babylon live by themselves, do what they want to do, and let the people over Jerusalem, over Israel, do what they want to do. And if they're not serving you and you really want them to serve you, then you influence their thoughts to serve you, right? But he says, it shall come to pass when 70 years are accomplished that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, said the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldeans, and will make it perpetual desolation. And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it, even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah hath prophesied against all the nations. That's Jeremiah there celebrating himself again. With all that Jeremiah has prophesied against all the nations. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands. I guess to purge the stench from them serving other gods. But my question is, when they go down to Babylon, that is the God that they are going to be serving, the Baal God. Those that are going to be in Egypt. They are going to be serving the gods down there. So what's the point? What's the point? And it's not like there is going to be a point where the people just abandon religion totally. I remember those people are going to get old and die. And then the younger generation is going to continue worshiping Baal. So how is he going to get rid of the Baal worship if that is the biggest problem he has? He has all this power. Why is he not able to stop the people from worshiping Baal in the first place if that's his biggest problem? Because getting the people back 70 years later is not going to mean anything in terms of religion, in terms of who they are worshiping. Because 70 years from now, the people who are going there now will probably be dead. It's going to be a brand new crop of Babylonians. They ain't going to be the children of Israel anymore. They are going to be marrying Babylonians. They're going to be having children with Babylonians. So if he is trying to ensure that there is purity in terms of blood for the children of Israel, then he has lost that fight by having sent the people, by having allowed Nebuchadnezzar to take the people into Babylon. Because for sure, they are going to be Babylonian men who are going to be marrying to Israeli women and vice versa. So the children they're going to have are not going to be straight-blooded children from the descendants of Jacob. So what has he accomplished again? And I tell me, say, as God could have figured that out before him do it. Don't tell me that God could have figured that out before it happened. But anyway, we are going to continue. He says, for many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also, and I will recompense them according to their deeds, and according to the works of their own hands. For thus said the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup this fury the nations to whom I send thee to drink it. So here I send out Jeremiah now. Go pour this fury on people. Me hear more hatred and anger and fury and destruction out of this God than anything else. And they shall drink and be moved, and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them. Then I took the cup out of the Lord's hand, and I made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord had sent me. So the cup may not have to be literally a cup, you know. It's the word, you know. All right, so somebody here said God knows everything. So he knew, but what was he trying to prove? I don't get the point. Neither do I. I don't get the point. What was he trying to prove, and to whom was he trying to prove something? If he is the ultimate, if he knows everything, if he is in control of everything and everyone, who was he trying to prove something to, and what exactly was he trying to prove by doing this? I don't know, my love. I am at a loss, just like you are. But let us continue reading, see if we get some clarity. And Jeremiah says God gave him this cup to take to all the nations to have them to drink. He says, Then I took the cup out of the Lord's hand, and I made all the nations to drink unto whom the Lord had sent me, to wit, Jerusalem, and the cities of Judah, and the kings thereof, and the princes thereof, to make them a desolation, an astonishment, a hissing, and a curse. And it is as it is this day. To Pharaoh, he might try to prove something to himself. God, no make me cough. Excuse me. It has got to be to himself, because it can't be to another man. It has to be to himself. But why prove something to yourself? If you are almighty and powerful, you don't have to prove to anybody or to yourself that you are almighty and powerful, right? So he goes now to Jeremiah, gets this cup that he has to, you know, I don't think it's a literal cup. It's just the message that he has gotten for all these countries. So to Jerusalem he went, he told the kings and the princes what he had gotten to serve to them. And then he says, Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and his servants and his princes and all his people. So he got a message. You prove it to someone else is wild. Exactly. Exactly. So now he gets the word for Jerusalem, he delivers that word. He get the word for Egypt, for the Pharaoh in Egypt, for the servant, for the princes and all his people, and all the mingled people, and all the mingled people, and all the kings of the land of Uz, and all the kings of the land of the Philistines, and Ashkelon, and Azar, and Ekron, and the remnant of Ashdod, Edom, and Moab, and the children of Ammon. God give him this word, Jeremiah, that he has to deliver to all these nations. Okay? And all the kings of Tyrus, and all the kings of Zidon, and the kings of the isles which are beyond the sea, Dedan, and Tema, and Buz, and all that are in the uttermost corners, and all the kings of Arabia, and all the kings of the mingled people that dwell in the desert. I know when him said the mingled people, what I mean, right? Okay. And all the kings of Zimri, and all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, and all the kings of the north, far and near, one with another, and all the kings of the world which are upon the face of the earth, and the king of Sheshach shall drink after them. Therefore, thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye, and be drunken, and spew, and fall, and rise up no more, because of the sword which I will send among you. So the God of Israel are going to slay everybody. He isn't even having mercy on the children of Israel. So it wouldn't be far-fetched, if that's my thought, that he's just slaying everybody. He says the people them are going to drink, they go and get drunk, they're going to fall down, they're not going to rise up anymore, because he's going to send the sword among them. And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, he shall certainly drink. For lo, I begin to drink evil on the city which is called by my name. And should he be utterly unpunished, he shall he shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, said the Lord of hosts. Why are the Lord so violent? All he can think about is just slaying people left and right. Left and right. Him send something for you, you don't want to take it, sword for you. Him send call you, you don't want to come, sword for you. You say, what city is that? Excuse me. He says, For lo, I will begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And which city that called my name? I will begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name, and should he be utterly punished, he shall not be punished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, said the Lord of hosts. Help me here, God. Oh wow, me guys. The show have to go on. Whether me I get tied up, whether all if me are dead, the show gotta go on. You hear the bird them out there sing? The show must go on. So let us continue. Me don't know which city that which is called by name. Jerusalem? Israel? You think of Israel in talk? He's on a killing mission. Achoo! Exactly. He's just killing left and right. Just don't let the fat lady sing. Love me. Love me. He says, For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city which is called by my name. And should he be utterly unpunished, he shall not be unpunished. For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, said the Lord of hosts. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That it's got to be a place that's called by his name. I said it's Israel, Jerusalem. Therefore, prophesy thou against them. But Sir Jeremiah said this, so God tell this to him, Therefore, prophesy against them all these words, and say unto them, The Lord shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation. His holy habitation, that is on high. Okay. And utter his voice from his holy habitation. He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth. And noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations. He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, said the Lord. Thus said the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation, and a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be as dung upon the earth. Howl, ye shepherds, and cry, and wallow yourselves in the ashes, ye principal of the flock. For the days of your slaughters and of your dispersions are accomplished, and ye shall fall like a pleasant vessel. And the shepherds shall have no way to flee, nor the principal of the flock to escape. A voice of the cry of the shepherds and an howling of the principal of the flock shall be heard, for the Lord hath spoiled their pasture. And the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Lord. Everything in Earsel is just displaying God's anger, the Lord's anger. And honestly, me not see where all of this anger him, just like a angry energy. No wonder mankind so vile and wicked. Because if I this a angry energy, he's always angry. Exactly. He's always so angry. And he shouldn't be this angry because he's able to change the ways of man. He's able to control what happens. He's so angry, it's as if he has lost control. It's as though he has no control over what is happening on the earth. And the men on earth are running amok. And he can't control anything. So he's just so angry. And his only solution is the sword. Him just a whop, 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 whop. He just a whop. Oh Lord, help my soul. Him just a whop, whop, whop everybody with the sword. Ain't that something? He's just so angry. And the peaceable habitations are cut down because of the fierce anger of the Lord. He hath forsaken his covert as the lion, for their land is desolate because of the fierceness of the oppressor and because of his fierce anger. No, sir. I don't like how God stay consistently angry and just destroy people left and right because of this anger. I don't like that. This is not what I expect when I am being told to go read the Bible, and there's supposed to be a measure of love and grace and peace being exhibited in the Bible, for which that can I can take a book out of that page. But all that's in it is a bunch of hatred and killing and cruelty. Me don't want a page out of that book. Josh said, never tell lie upon God, yeah, man. But hear Jeremiah say, God tell him, say a lot of people, them a tell him, and them a come with them dreams, and I come tell the people, say, him say this and him say that, and him and them no all no such conversation. The prophet them a tell lie upon him. I said, Jeremiah say, and me say so. And Jeremiah say people them a tell lie upon God. You see, that's what God tell him. So, so therefore, who am I to say? There shall be none to say what I believe is not true or it is true. I saw Job say something like that. Nobody's going to be able to prove him right or wrong. So make him go and believe what I believe. As at the end of the day, there will be no one to prove him right or wrong. All right. If you read any more, should I read any more from this angry, very angry God? You know, I'm if read any more. I'm going to read 2 more chapters. In the beginning, if I continue, excuse me. All right, let me continue. In the beginning of the reign of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, came this word from the Lord, saying, Thus saith the Lord, stand in the court of the Lord's house, and speak unto all the cities of Judah, which come to worship in the Lord's house. All the words that I command thee to speak unto them, diminish not a word. All right? So all the word me tell them, don't change no word, nor nothing. This is what I want you to tell them. If so be they will hearken and turn every man from his evil ways, that I may repent me of the evil which I propose to do unto them because of the evil of their doings. Some more evil for them, Georgette. Some more evil for them. Some more wickedness God have planned for them. God have more wickedness planned for the people, them more than love, grace, and compassion. He says, and thou shalt say unto them, Thus saith the Lord, if he will not hearken to me, to walk in my law which I have set before you, to hearken to the words of my servants, the prophets, which I sent unto you, both rising up early and sending them, but ye have not hearkened, then will I make this house like Shiloh, and will make this city a curse to all the nations of the earth. Me say, them not stop gaslight and manipulate the people them. You understand? Everything is like a threat. Me I go send my servant them to come to you to give you a message early in the morning. And if you do not accept it, I will remind you what I did to Shiloh. I will burn down this place. I will like the only power God have to burn down the place and destroy the people them. Because that's all he keep doing. He says, so the priests and the prophets and all the people, they heard Jeremiah speaking these words in the house of the Lord. Now it came to pass, when Jeremiah had made an end of speaking all that the Lord had commanded him to speak unto all the people, that the priests and the prophets and all the people took him, saying, you shall surely die. People have died of Jeremiah and hypocrisy. The people have said, come here. Then they wait till Jeremiah don't say everything when claims that God tell him. And then grab him and say, you see, you shall surely die. Why hast thou prophesied in the name of the Lord, saying, this house shall be like Shiloh, and this city shall be desolate without an inhabitant? And all the people were gathered against Jeremiah in the house of the Lord. Who don't gather against him too? Of course, yes, the people are together against him. For I said the Lord I tell him these things to come to tell the people. And yet still, the people have their desperation. They want hope. They want to hear that the Lord is on their side. But so far, we are not hearing that, right? We're not hearing that the Lord is on their side. We're not hearing that the Lord is trying to uplift them. All we are hearing is that when you listen to what Jeremiah say, if you don't want to listen and don't obey, me I go remind you of Shiloh, me I go burn down this, I want to burn this bitch down. Destroy the world around us. So the people them fed up. They don't know which way to turn. So now then grab Jeremiah and say, we are going to just grab you. We are going to surely put you to death. Because all them something where you tell we. No sound godly at all. When the princes of Judah heard these things, then they came up from the king's house unto the house of the Lord, and sat down in the entry of the new gate of the house of the Lord's house. Then spake the priests and the prophets unto the princes and to all the people, saying, This man is worthy to die, for he hath prophesied against this city, as he have heard with your own ears. Then Jeremiah said unto all the princes and to all the people, The Lord sent me to prophesy against this house and against this city all the words that you hear me say. Therefore now amend your ways and your doings, and obey the voice of the Lord your God, and the Lord will repent him of the evil that he has planned against you. So, if people not repent, God not have nothing good to give to you. So if you not repent, you cannot expect anything good from this all-loving God. Did I get that right? Because it seems like what he always has prepared for you is destruction. But you can abate that destruction by repenting. So if you never repent, he never has anything good for you. This is the all-loving God, according to the Bible. Let us continue. As for me, this is Jeremiah now. Jeremiah says, As for me, behold, I am in your hand. Do with me as seems good unto you. But know for certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring an innocent blood on your hands, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants thereof. For of a truth, the Lord has sent me unto you to speak all these words in your ears. So Jeremiah is really saying to the people, I'm going to listen up. If uno slay me, remember say, on my behalf, God is going to destroy you all. My blood is going to be on your hands. If this is not gaslighting and manipulating, I don't know what is. Because how is Jeremiah suddenly such an important person to this God that God tell Jeremiah, say, all of the other prophet them are lied. Only him is the good and true prophet. All of this anger that God have built up for everybody else, him share it with Jeremiah. But everybody else falls. Everybody else. The only true person right now it look like that have God on their side is Jeremiah. But God couldn't stop him from get that lick. Do you remember when the man gave him the big lick? Him should have get 2 more. So now Jeremiah has elevated himself to being the only person God is talking to. Jeremiah. Don't make me laugh, Lord. Don't make me wake up, my child. Sorry. Oh my goodness. Somebody say I'm the orange man. That's why I laugh. Somebody said Jeremiah the orange man. Oh Lord. All of a sudden, Jeremiah, the little mendicant Jeremiah, the little descendant of Benjamin, the little Jeremiah where nobody never pay no mind. The little Jeremiah. All of a sudden, Jeremiah has been elevated. Best with exactly, Georgette. See, Georgette say, obviously God becks with everybody else except Jeremiah. God don't have nothing to do with nobody else. God give him cup, figure feed all the countries around, figure feed the pharaohs of Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, everywhere. Him go around go feed. Everybody know Jeremiah come from with all of this. Him a go tell the people, if them not accept what him a lay down to them, God a go destroy them. Everybody else is wrong and only Jeremiah is right. See now him come read off this sitting say God give him this sitting for come read to the people them in the church in Jerusalem. Him read it, him tell them everything. So this is what God said to people. They say, none of this is not for us. None of this is for us. Everything where you say is against us. So you know say you have to dead do a boy. You have to dead no. Because yeah, this and then him go gaslight the people that about, oh, if you all kill me, my blood will be on your hands, and you all will not be able to handle the anger of God that he shall pour out on you on my behalf. Like seriously, Jeremiah. Listen. Jeremiah is little Marco. Jeremiah. Listen up. Oh, no, not come. Make he lad come for me. Excuse me, people. Sorry. Sorry. But not easy this morning here. So now, let's get serious again. So now, Jeremiah. So no, Jeremiah is the favorite. Jeremiah is the one that God loves. He is God is on is not on anybody's side but Jeremiah. Mad people, what's up, my love? Is only on Jeremiah's side. Let us continue. Why this a spin so like it I got cut off? They sort of make me call the people have name next thing. TikTok cut me off. Excuse me. Mad people, what's up, my love? How you doing? Let me continue. You want to see me? I don't know why the screen is going dark. The phone is charged. I don't know. But let us continue. He says, then rose up certain of the elders. All right, make we go back and read, make we keep track. Jeremiah says, but he know for a certain that if you put me to death, you shall surely bring innocent blood upon your hands, and upon this city, and upon the inhabitants of this city. For of a truth, the Lord has sent me unto you to speak all these words into your ears. Then said the princes and all the people unto the priests and to the prophets, this man is not worthy to die, for he has spoken to us in the name of the Lord our God. All right, so the princes them I beg on Jeremiah's behalf. Then rose up certain of the elders of the land and spake to all the assembly of the people, saying, Micah, the Morashite, prophesied in the days of Hezekiah, king of Judah, and spake to all the people of Judah, saying, thus saith the Lord of hosts, Zion shall be plowed like a field, and Jerusalem shall become heaps, and the mountain of the house as the high places of a forest. Did Hezekiah, king of Judah, and all Judah put him at all to death? Did he not fear the Lord, and besought the Lord, and the Lord repented him of the evil which he had pronounced against them? Thus might we procure great evil against our souls. So, right, them are beg for Jeremiah. And there was also a man that prophesied in the name of the Lord, Uriah. Uriah, the son of Shemaiah, of Kirjath Jearim, who prophesied against this city and against this land, according to all the words of Jeremiah. So they are saying that what Jeremiah has told them just now is not the first time they have heard it. Like, historically, it's in their history that others had prophesied the same prophecy of Jerusalem being destroyed, etc. So they might say, I don't know, nothing new. You understand? King Hezekiah did prophesy. Them say Uriah did prophesy the same thing, and nobody never put them to death. But it's the same thing. So now that tells me that Jeremiah know the history. So that's why Jeremiah come back with this stuff, because he has probably read it somewhere that these ancient people had made the same prophecy. That's my belief. And he says, and there was also a man that prophesied in the name of the Lord, Uriah the son of Shemaiah of Kirjath Jearim, who prophesied against this city and against this land according to the same words of Jeremiah. So Jeremiah's prophecy wasn't authentic. He was not the first person to come with this kind of prophecy. It had been prophesied against this city already. Okay? And when Joachim the king, with all his mighty men and all the princes, heard his words, the king sought to put him to death. But when Uriah heard it, he was afraid and fled and went to Egypt. So this is sort of some history they're giving us here, that Uriah, an ancient prophet, had prophesied the same things, and the king at the time, Joachim, had attempted to slay Uriah, and Uriah ran away to Egypt. And remember, in the Bible, guys, there are people with the same name. There are lots of people with the same name. There was Uriah, who was married to Bathsheba, who the king David stole Bathsheba and sent Uriah to the front of the battle to die. There was that Uriah. I don't think this is the same Uriah they're talking about. Okay? Let us continue. And when Joachim the king, with all his mighty men and all the princes, heard his words, the king sought to put him to death. But when Uriah heard it, he was afraid and fled and went into Egypt. And Joachim the king sent men into Egypt, namely Elnathan, the son of Achbor, and certain men with him into Egypt. And they fetched Uriah out of Egypt. Oh, I didn't remember that part. Excuse me. Okay, so that was back then. So they fetched Uriah out of Egypt and brought him into unto Joachim the king, who slew him with the sword. Okay. History lesson. History. Next line, what's up?